and welcome to the show. This is a different one, a bonus episode, in spirit of March Madness and the brackets coming out tomorrow, I believe. We're going to do our own brackets with my wife here, and she has a group of animals helping her along her side. She's currently laying on the couch, and she's surrounded by animals, literally just completely surrounded by them. And rather than focus on college basketball, which is a subject neither of us know all that much about, we're instead going to do some cult movies. So this is a cult movie bracketology. And this is partially based on a guy on a list on a website from 2016. The website was called File 770, Mile Geiler's News of Sci-Fi Fandom. So this is going back a while now. And he was the last one I saw who really kind of spent the time and energy doing this. So I borrowed some of his matchups and then kind of made some of my own. And so, yeah, I'm going to ask my wife these matchups of cult movies, and we'll go through and see who is the winner of the cult movie bracketology of 2025. Are you ready to start?
Hell yeah.
Okay, first off, do you have any experience watching quote-unquote bad or cult movies?
I've had a little bit.
A little bit of experience. Okay.
Just a touch.
Just a touch? Okay. Do you want to start with the North, the South, the East, or the West? It literally doesn't matter. They're just grouped by because. Okay, let's start with the North. Okay, our first matchup: the movie Ice Pirates versus Heathers.
I've never seen Ice Pirates, so I'm gonna go with Heathers.
I thought that would be that one. All right, now. See, the reason I changed it up from his list is he did a lot of easy toss-ups, which happens in college basketball, right? Like the number 16 team is going to play the number 1 team, and you probably are going to guess they're going to win. I got rid of some of that. Instead, I went with hard matchups. So here's the first hard one. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert versus Pink Flamingos. That's a hard one.
Yeah. I mean, also, as much as I love John Waters, that whole chicken scene never sat right with me.
So you're going to go with Priscilla?
I think I'm going to have to, based on the chicken and the chicken alone.
That's fair. Number 3, Lady Hawk versus Your Highness.
Like, Your Highness?
Yeah. The Danny McBride, Natalie Portman. Uh-oh, the dog's knocking over the microphone. Sorry. Hopefully that you didn't hear that. Yeah, thank you, Nelly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with whatever the other one was.
Lady Hawk. You're gonna go with Lady Hawk. Okay. Number 4 matchup. Oop, I'm moving the microphone again. I'm sorry, people. Okay, the dog is not helping me here. Let me create a platform here. Congo versus Conga, the son of Kong. Never seen either of those?
No, I haven't.
All right, well, you pick one.
Conga.
Conga. I like it. Conga. Number 5 matchup, Ravenous, movie I know you've seen, versus Speed 2.
Ravenous.
Thought that'd be an easy guess for you there. Young Frankenstein versus Big Lebowski.
I'm gonna go with Big Lebowski on that one.
The dude abides. Reefer Madness versus Half Baked.
Half-baked.
All right. And last matchup of our North bracket, Return of the Living Dead 3 versus Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Okay, good. All right, let's go East next. Army of Darkness versus Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Very different.
Very different vibes, yeah.
Oh, Henry does have a
Soft spot in your heart?
It does.
All right.
You shouldn't be watching that movie at 13, but some of us did.
That's a movie you should not be watching.
The description made it seem a lot more lighthearted.
I remember when I watched that movie in like my 20s, and I bought it and watched it with Jamie, and we both were like, I thought this was going to be very different. Like, this movie is not funny.
Shell and I, we were like
it
13,
is dark.
And like that Vaseline scene, we both like looked at each other like, this is not what we thought this was going to be at all.
Number 2 matchup in the East bracket, Mallrats versus Dogma.
Mallrats.
Interesting. The Last Dragon versus Being John Malkovich.
The Last Dragon.
Plan 9 versus Chopping Mall.
I'm going to go with Chopping Mall.
Interesting. This one is one I wrote specifically for you. This is going to be a hard one. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Ooh. That's hard. Because you have Dennis Hopper, and then you also have Christmas. Which are two of my favorite things.
It's true.
I'm going to have to go with Dennis Hopper, R.I.P.
All right. Enter the Dragon versus Kung Fu Hustle.
I don't think I've seen any of them, but based on name alone, Kung Fu Hustle.
Okay, we own that movie. That's a good time. Up in Smoke, the Harold and I spoiled it. Up in Smoke with Cheech and Chong versus Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
All right. Racist.
I haven't seen it in a long time. It may not have aged well.
Justice League, the Zack Snyder movie, versus Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder remake.
Dawn of the Dead.
And we go to the South bracket, the top of it. Clerks versus Mystery Men.
Clerks.
All right. Flash Gordon, the movie, versus Troll 2.
Troll 2.
All right. Another really hard one. Blue Velvet versus Wild at Heart.
Lord. That's really hard. I'm going to go with Wild at Heart. It's just a bit more kitschy.
It's true. The Wizard versus the Scott Pilgrim.
I don't really like either one of those movies.
I figured that would.
Wizard.
Yeah. Wizard, okay. More kitschy, I guess. Fritz the Cat versus Joe's Apartment.
Joe's Apartment.
Space Jam versus Roger Rabbit.
Space Jam.
Get up and jam. Legend of Billie Jean versus Rebel Without a Cause.
Legend of Billie Jean.
That's a good time. Conan the Barbarian versus Shaft. Shaft. All right. Well, good. Tank Girl versus the Barbie movie. Something to really think about. Two movies that you do not like either of, really, honestly, despite their feminist tropes. Heavy feminist themes.
Not Tank Girl, because we all know about the kangaroo.
You really dislike the kangaroo scene in Tank Girl. I did forget all about the kangaroo part. Okay, so Barbie movie. Modern classics. Long Legs versus Late Night with the Devil.
Long Legs.
Yeah, I figured you don't like Late Night with the Devil.
It started off so good.
All right, that's true. I like it. I feel like, yeah, we'll go.
I feel like it, but I don't know.
The Room versus Pink Floyd's The Wall.
The Room.
Birdemic versus The Swarm.
Birdemic.
Fifth Element versus 12 Monkeys.
Oh, that's hard. I'm going to go with 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. Dark City versus Soylent Green.
I don't know that I've seen any of this.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with
Soylent Green?
Yeah.
Soylent Green are people. Soylent Green are people. Big Trouble in Little China versus Leprechaun in Space.
Leprechaun in Space.
I'm upset. Josie and the Pussycats versus Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, I don't like this one. That's very hard. Okay, I'm going to go with Pump Up the Volume on that one.
That's fair. Okay. And then now we will go to round number 2. All right, we are ready now for round number 2 of the Cult Movie Championship with Miranda, who's being our co-host. So we did round number 1, and your round number 1 answers as a review were Heathers. This is in the North bracket. Heathers, Priscilla Queen of the Desert, Lady Hawk, Conga, Ravenous, Big Lebowski, Half-Baked, and Slumber Party Massacre 2. And then in the East bracket, it was Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, Mallrats, The Last Dragon, Chopping Mall, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Kung Fu Hustle, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and the Dawn of the Dead remake. And then we go to the South and the West side, and we had Clerks, Troll 2, Wild at Heart, The Wizard, Joe's Apartment, Space Jam, Legend of Billie Jean, Shaft, and Barbie movie, Long Legs, The Room, Birdemic, 12 Monkeys, Soylent Green, Leprechaun in Space, and Pump Up the Volume. So now we have our round number 2. Go. And let's see. Round number 2, first matchup: Heathers versus Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Slumber Party Massacre 2.
An upset. Definitely an upset for some people. Priscilla versus Half Baked.
Half Baked.
Half Baked. Interesting. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, loses to Half Baked. Lady Hawk versus Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
The dude abides. Ravenous versus Conga.
Ravenous.
Thought that would be a clear choice there. All right. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer versus Dawn of the Dead remake.
I'm going to go with Dawn of the Dead.
All righty. Mallrats versus Harold and Kumar.
Mallrats.
The Last Dragon versus Kung Fu Hustle.
The Last Dragon.
Okay. The Last Dragon. And Chopping Mall versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
That is a movie that you very much enjoy. Okay, then we go to the other side, and we get Clerks versus Shaft.
Clerks.
All right, that's a classic. Troll 2 versus Legend of Billie Jean. Troll 2. No. Wild at Heart versus Space Jam. That'd be a weird movies to watch back to back. If someone ever showed you both those movies, you'd be like, this is terrifying.
I'm gonna go with Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart.
Because again, no sexy animals.
No, yeah. And the two that are kind of a toss up for you both: The Wizard versus Joe's Apartment.
Oh, Joe's Apartment.
All right, like yourself some bugs. Last of the West bracket, we got Barbie movie versus Pump Up the Volume.
Pump Up the Volume.
Clear winner there. Longlegs versus Leprechaun 4 in Space. Longlegs. Satan, mommy, daddy. The Room versus Soylent Green.
The Room.
Yeah. And Birdemic versus 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys.
The 12 Monkeys. Alrighty, well, we will come right back and do our final round and then get to our final four and see what we end up with. See you guys in just a second. Hey, thanks for giving us a listen, and hopefully you're enjoying what you're hearing. Every single week we do a podcast where we look at some of the best and worst movies about the end of the world. It's called Welcome to the End of the World Podcast, and you can check it out every single week. Give it a listen. We talked about all kinds of stupid nonsense at this point. Currently, we are going through all of the Left Behind movies, and dear God, has that been a task, a Herculean task, to say the least. So if you're enjoying our video game playthrough, try giving a few of our podcast episodes a listen. I think you'll have a good time. Thank you. Bye. All right, we have reached our final round of the cult movie bracket, and these are some hard matchups. And then we'll get down to the end of it here. First matchup: Slumber Party Massacre 2 versus Ravenous. Cannibalism versus the Driller Killer.
I mean, cannibalism is my favorite of genres.
You do like the historical fiction with the serial, with all the murders.
It's got everything I like.
It's true. So Ravenous wins there. Next one, Half Baked versus Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebo. Clerks versus Joe's Apartment.
Still Joe's Apartment.
Joe's Apartment. All right. Is it the singing scene? Is that what does it?
Yeah, I love a musical.
Troll 2 versus Wild at Heart. That's a hard one, too. A movie that's so bad it's good versus a movie that's just like really, really good.
I feel like I watch Wild at Heart more.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna go Wild at Heart?
I guess I will.
Our dog has made her choice clear. She says Nick Cage movie. Okay, which we got to get to the final four here. So, Ravenous versus Big Lebowski. Ravenous is the clear winner there. So Ravenous moves on. And Joe's Apartment versus Wild at Heart.
that heart.
All right. And we go to our next bracket. Dawn of the Dead remake versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Alrighty. And Last Dragon versus Mallrats. You kicked out Clerks earlier. Do you let the other Kevin Smith movie go?
We're gonna go with The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon. All right. Pump Up the Volume versus 12 Monkeys.
Pump up the volume.
Pump it up. And The Room versus Longlegs. That's a tough one.
I think I'm always gonna have to go with The Room, though.
All right, The Room is the choice there. So that gets us to almost to our final four. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 versus The Last Dragon.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yep, makes sense. I'm not sure what our dog's eating. If you're hearing her sniveling on something, she is. And Pump Up the Volume versus The Room.
Wait, what is that?
That is a piece of fuzz.
Yeah, where she gets that from?
Who knows? She wants it back, though. She's very upset that you took that. Pump Up the Volume versus The Room. You gonna go with The Room, I guess?
I'm gonna have to, I think.
Tommy Wiseau wins every time. So that gets us to our final four of our cult movies, for my wife at least, and her bracket is Ravenous, Wild at Heart, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and The Room. I feel like if you took all four of those movies, that would pretty much be like a primer to get to know you, honestly. That'd pretty much describe it. So now you have to...
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Frankenhooker would have to be added
Frankenhooker,
to really get the full picture.
That's true. Frankenhooker, and also Caligula is one I never threw in there.
No,
not interested in Caligula. No interest in that movie.
Once was enough.
So, Ravenous versus Wild at Heart.
Nelly's a Ravenous.
Alrighty. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 versus The Room.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Does something finally beat The Room, Iggy?
I think I'm going to have to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Alright, so our final matchup would be Ravenous versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So who wins? Nelly is ready to go.
I don't know. She's... Oh. Yeah, we need to take them out.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not raining. Our dog has not pooped all day.
It has been raining for about the last 7 hours in Memphis, so...
I know. God. Egg that's a hard one.
It is a hard one. Ravenous, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I don't know. They're both my favorites.
Well, how about we take the dog potty and we come back and let you think about it?
Yeah, that's...
All right, dog has gone potty. We have entered into the final round. And as a recap, we are looking at the choice of Ravenous versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So have you made your choice? With some deliberation.
I feel like it's Ravenous. I love that movie.
She does love Ravenous. We do own it on Blu-ray and have watched it several times, and it's a good movie. It's a good time. So Ravenous is the winner. I think that's a good winner for you. I feel like that describes your taste in cult movies pretty well, as Ravenous is pretty much does it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you. YouTube, welcome to the podcast, and everywhere else as well. Thanks.
Power and strength.